6:59. Let's start streaming. I need you guys to be quiet over there, okay? All right. Welcome to Reimagining Star Wars. So let's play the intro. Reimagining Star Wars. All right, welcome everyone. This is Imagine Maker. Vega is here as well, and Little Ren, and welcome to Santa, because as we prep to do our road to Christmas and road to Episode 9, we have a bunch of Star Wars stuff to talk about. The first thing that we're going to talk about today is a series that we enjoy, and that is Resistance. And then after that, we will go into talk about the current rants and what these rants mean and why people are reacting to certain things, and then we'll go into some rumors, and we can't wait to talk about these rumors. So, and what they mean and what we think is real. And so we would be glad to we'll be watching for questions this time. So hopefully this is a better stream, and we'll be encouraging your questions. So the first things first, let's talk about Resistance. So Vega, you want to talk about Resistance, or you want Santa to go first?
I think Santa should go first. So, I think Santa should go first since he is Santa.
Well, I certainly enjoyed the episode. There's been some talk about the animation not being up to snuff compared to previous, but the space scenes when you see the vessels from space are stunning. They're really, really good. I like the action in it. Enjoyed the kind of tension that built through the episode. It felt like there were real consequences that people were struggling with. And towards the end, it sort of on your seat moment, waiting to see if they were going to be able to escape. I really liked it.
No, I agree. I actually really liked this episode, and but let's get Vega over here, and I want to get her opinion on it. So tell us about your view of Resistance.
My view of Resistance, since I am a kid, I like it, but So
what did you like most about the episode?
I like the ships. They're pretty cool, and the settings, and I like the theme.
So what did you think about the trying to get the coaxium?
The coaxium, I just thought it was too easy.
Really? You thought getting the coaxium was too easy?
Yeah.
Like it should have exploded?
Yeah, it should have exploded, and then they would have to go search someone else to.
Well, that would have killed them. Remember what happened in Solo?
Well, yeah, true. That
would have ended the story really fast,
right?
Well,
true, yeah, but I don't really think that way. I thought that it should have been guarded by the dark side.
Oh, so, do you know where they got that? What ship they went on to? Do you remember in The Last Jedi what ship they blew up there by Dakar?
No.
All right, so you remember the big. We haven't talked about this, by the way, so this is why we're getting these questions like this. So if you remember in the big triangular ship, the Fulminatrix, they had the big cannons on the bottom that blew up the Resistance base.
Yeah.
And you remember how Poe?
Yeah.
Remember how Poe blew it up with that last bomber?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's what was left of it after they blew it up. So that's what they were pulling that coaxium from. Did you understand that when you were watching it? No, you didn't. You didn't get that. No, that's fine. I mean, that's not the point of it. Is that that's the point, right? Is that we're trying to figure out what kids do understand, and so.
To be honest, I didn't remember the planet, and so when they kept saying they were going to this planet, I was like, to the system. I was like, what system is that? And it wasn't until they were in the debris that I kind of put it together. So, oh, okay, I know where they are.
Right. You know, I have an advantage over both of you, and the advantage is that I have rewritten The Force Awakens, and I'm fully familiar with every planet, every location, and I'm in the process of rewriting The Last Jedi. So the advantage I have is that every location, every little tidbit, I'm reading over their lines. So like when you say, "Oh, he said this," and I can go, "No, he didn't say that. He said this." It's because I probably just finished reading it, a couple of hours ago, where I was going, "How would I say that?"
Right.
How would you say that?
So I have a little bit of advantage when it comes to that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but Vega is right. I mean, I don't know that it matters so much that we remember where it was, especially from a kid's perspective. How are you going to put those things together? It's just a lot.
Right. So I think there is some obviously that means there's some complication in there that may go over some kids' heads.
Yeah.
So do you think that Kaz was too silly in this show? Or do you think he was right at your level?
I think he was medium, not too silly, not too serious.
That's good. That means they're hitting the notes right on. That means this episode is about where they need to be. So I think he's still a little too silly, but I'm not a 9-year-old.
Right. I thought it was much better. Again, when he's in the action, things seem to be better.
And I didn't recognize he got a haircut until I saw his hair.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even recognize that he got a haircut. I didn't even catch that.
I did. I was like, his hair looks different. It's like,
yeah, the sides are really, really shaved off, right?
mm-hmm.
Right. Now that you mention it, now I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Now that I think about it, you're right. I didn't even notice that.
Oh, that's good. Well,
he was just watching, not paying attention. He was just like looking what's going on. He didn't even look at the characters.
Apparently.
He did observe.
But so then we go from them. We get there. We have the interaction with Tam, right, where Tam kind of reveals the that she got the message to the agent and Captain, or was it Commander Pyre,
mm-hmm.
and that's pretty. Obviously Tam is having her moment of conscience where she's recognizing that she's not really being a very good person. And I think this is good. What did you think about Tam and her giving up that information of Kaz? Do you think Kaz deserved it and she was doing the right thing, as it were?
No, she probably felt guilty and she didn't want to do it, but she didn't want to get overthrown or die or anything, and so she had to turn it in.
Right. So did you feel the dilemma that Tam was in?
She had a choice. It's either to like not turn it in or her friend turn her in.
Right.
And she didn't want that to happen, so she turned it in.
Right. So the character that we saw that had obviously been recruited by the First Order was the guy that Kaz embarrassed in the first season.
Right.
And which to me I thought he was making inroads.
Go ahead.
Obviously, I have a little guy.
Did you got Roblox in the...
No, there's no Roblox on there, buddy.
We got a little guy on the loose, so just letting you guys know.
So, well, I think you made it onto the live stream, but so what were we talking about? So yeah, he was the guy that Kaz embarrassed in the previous season. So I wasn't really shocked to see him there, but I always thought that guy was going to kind of have a little bit of an arc. But I mean, because I don't think Kaz was ever that bad to him, but he was always like dead set against Kaz no matter what. And in the first season I thought, well, this guy is kind of ridiculous, but I get kind of where they were going. Like sometimes you have to have a guy that's just, he's just, a punk no matter what, and that's what that guy is. He's just the punk no matter what.
Well, he's Draco Malfoy.
Yeah.
Can I read them?
That's what he is, right? Like in the story, he's the Draco Malfoy. He's pompous, arrogant, and he keeps getting shown up, and it creates that tension, right?
Yeah, I agree that it completely created the tension. Because if he didn't say he was going to turn Tam in, Tam would not have done it.
Right.
And it made the decision very clear.
Yeah.
So you want to read what Dale Ehrman said?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So, this is a comment from Dale Erdman, and he said, "I didn't care about the ships when I was 7. I knew Darth Vader was the bad guy and Luke, Han, and Leia were good guys."
And you think that's kind of how it is here, or do you like the ships more than the characters? What do you think about it here?
I like the flashy lights, the bombs, and the lightsabers. I thought.
Well, there's no lightsabers yesterday in Resistance.
I know, but I liked like when Darth Vader and Luke had to fight. It was a father and son uniting, except they're on different sides fighting each other until Darth Vader realized that Luke wasn't the real enemy. His teacher was the real enemy, and he wanted Luke to take down his master once Darth Vader couldn't finish his job. And Luke didn't do that. His nephew tried to take that on to finish his job. And then Rey and Kylo teamed up when they found each other when his master wanted to kill Rey.
So you like the story. You like the characters in the story.
Yes, I do. I like the scenes, like how that happens.
Yeah.
I like the actions. I don't like it when they just talking like make a plan. I'm just like, this is boring. Do some action
X-Wings.
already.
I can tell you when I was a kid, when Santa was just a little boy, X-Wings were the coolest ever, followed closely by the Battlestar Galactica fighters.
How about A-Wings?
You know, I didn't like A-Wings when I was younger. I liked X-Wings and TIE fighters.
Yeah, I love the B-Wing. When the B-Wing came out, oh my lord, that's all I drew. I drew B-Wings over and over and over and over again.
Oh, X-Wings for me, all the time.
Is the B-Wing sort of like just shaped into a B?
No, remember the B-Wings are the flying wing. Remember that the big bomber?
Oh yeah, those.
Yeah.
But at first I was thinking that the ships are shaped into a B.
Yeah, I didn't really like it. It just had a cockpit and it spun around the cockpit. It looked really cool.
I'm pretty. Yeah, I could tell.
So we just talked about why Tam had to turn in Kaz, right? And that led them to Dakar, right? And he was like, "Why are they in Dakar?" And Commander Pyre goes, "Oh, they don't know that."
You said "da." You say Dakar.
Dakar, that's right.
No, you said "da." Dakar.
So you're making fun of me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
But so on, Commander Pyre. I keep wanting to call him Captain Pyre, but Commander Pyre was like, "Why are they going to Dakar?" Correct. And the reason being was because they don't know that the Resistance base is destroyed, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, here's a comment from Darth Revan. The B-Wing is my favorite. Me and my dad built that. Smiley face. Looks almost like the Twilight from TVW. I do not know what that means. Or TCW.
I think he means the Clone Wars. So the Twilight and the Clone Wars, if you remember, was Anakin's ship, and they went around on that, and then Obi-Wan destroys it.
Well, I haven't seen the whole thing of the Clone Wars because...
Yes, that's true. You still haven't watched it all.
I was like, why is there so much talking?
No, the reason why you didn't... It actually scared you. And so we never finished it when you were... that. So we just haven't gone back. when they took it off of Netflix, we just weren't able to finish it, and we don't own it all.
Oh yeah, right. So that's why you're gonna get Hulu or
So
something.
yeah, we're gonna get all that. So we already have. We're set up to get that streaming service. We're definitely gonna have Disney Plus. So
Dale Erdman said, I started noticing the different types of ships with Django's, but I didn't really get into them.
Well, Dale. One, I'm a drawer, so I've like always been into ships, and now I'm a writer, so now I have to write about them. So it's and now and Vega's a drawer too, so she's picked up right after her old man, I guess you could say.
I've been a drawing since I was really young.
Right.
So
we have the action. So what happens? How are they going to get out of the car? Because they don't have any coaxium. So we talked about this. So what was their plan?
Their plan was to get the coaxium and leave.
Right, and get out of there, and that becomes the whole session, right? So who do they get to do it?
Don't know.
Who does Kaz talk to do it?
Tam.
No. He doesn't talk to Tam. Who does he talk to? Does he talk to the pirates?
Yes.
Okay, and then they what do they say about Commander Doza or Captain Doza?
They're like,
No, he said they're gonna owe him, right?
you're gonna owe him.
Right. So what's the pirate captain's name?
Mr. Dell said it's set TLJ and TROS. What does that even mean? What does that mean? Please explain.
For The Last Jedi and Solo?
What does TROS means?
TOS.
TROS.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, never mind. You don't have to explain. This person explains it all for me. If he doesn't explain it, you please explain it.
She doesn't get all the abbreviations and acronyms that we like to use.
He doesn't teach me. He doesn't teach
No,
me.
you just don't use them enough. That's not true. I've showed them to you. You just don't use them enough.
Yeah, because you never showed them to me.
Throwing Dad under the bus.
So throwing me under. I see how it is. I don't think that's true, though.
You sure? But how come I don't remember?
Because you just don't remember.
There you
I
go.
don't remember. I was probably just like a baby when you showed me.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's probably not that long ago because you're not very old.
Oh, come on. I'm only 9.
That's right. The Rise of Sidious, is that right, Nell? Maybe you're
wrong.
right.
You're wrong.
Now, so and then after that, so they do get the coaxium, but you thought it was too quick? Like they didn't suffer enough to get it?
Yeah, they didn't suffer enough. They need to suffer.
I thought Nico was pretty scared. I did think it was funny how he was like, he gives off all the reasons why it'll explode, and they're like, and now I have to take it out. And you're like, I thought you said it would explode. I actually thought that was pretty funny. It's like, wait, you just said it would explode if we did that.
But they need to suffer more.
Right. Well, I thought they did. It was pretty. I think the tension stayed high in the.
It wasn't high enough.
And well, no one died, but that's because it's a cartoon.
Well, yeah, true, because it's a kids show.
So you wanted someone to die?
No.
Okay.
I wanted them to suffer.
Well, like how?
Like they had to fight more.
Well,
I wanted them to fight. It wasn't being guarded by the dark side or something.
Yeah,
and they didn't use guns.
Right.
They didn't use guns.
They had the black. Do you remember the galleon getting hit and they're doing all the spinning and they're shooting from port side and starboard side? Do you remember that?
Mhm.
That was pretty cool, wasn't it?
What did you say?
Port side and starboard side. Do you know what that is?
No.
All right. So port side is left side. All right. Here's your left hand.
Right.
And starboard side is right side. All right. But those are naval terms. So like when you're talking about a ship, you say port and starboard.
Okay.
So now you know. So you actually didn't understand that in the show, did you?
No.
So now you learned something. Oh.
I don't
So that tells you that some of the verbiage, because I think she's probably the target audience at 9. So I mean,
sure.
some of the verbiage is above her head, and she's not. I mean, has a pretty good vocabulary.
Yeah,
because she reads a lot.
Dale Erdman said the racers were fighting. We saw that the Ace team was fighting the
ties, right?
The ties and the First Order. So to protect those people, well, technically not people, the
Colossus, right?
Colossus.
Right.
So they'd have enough time to get the coaxium.
Right. They're buying them time, right?
Mm-hmm. They're buying them some time, so they would be able to get the coaxium. And when it was time, they flew back, and so
right at the end, they flew right back into the Colossus. Right, they almost crashed in.
Yeet.
Right. So that was. I think the tension was pretty high throughout the episode. I mean, I don't think it. I think it was pretty much nonstop.
High? What do you mean high? They didn't suffer enough.
I don't get why you want them to suffer. Like nobody lost a leg. Is that what you're sad about?
No.
Yeah. Do you even know what you mean by they didn't suffer enough?
They need to lose.
Well, she wanted somebody to die.
Yeah. I mean, she didn't want somebody to die. And
No, I just wanted them to lose.
I mean, because that would be my next question. Who'd you want to die? I mean, Nico? I mean, I like Nico.
No, I want them to lose a finger.
Oh, a finger.
I guess the coaxium could blow a finger off, maybe. So who do you want to lose the finger? Kaz, so he wisens up?
Yeah. He's too silly right now.
All right.
He needs a little wisdom.
So
he just needs an inch of wisdom, or wait. Darth Raven said, "Are you sure Vega isn't a Sith?"
No, but she is a Mandalorian, so I mean, there's always a little suffering that comes along with that.
Yes, I want to suffer.
You're definitely Mandalorian.
I want them to suffer.
Yeah, others need to suffer. She has no problem with freezing you in carbonite.
Yeah, I have no problem.
But since that's her culture, right? She doesn't get coal for freezing people in carbonite, right?
Right.
All right. So, do you have anything else to say about resistance, so we can move on to the next topic?
Also, Dale Erdman said, 9 is just right. I thought you were 11. You're wise beyond your years.
You have all your fingers?
Yeah, I have all my fingers.
Okay.
I
just
didn't
checking.
cut any
And
off.
toes.
Yeah, I did.
You know,
I do.
I just heard that you can wisen up if you lose a finger.
Right. She's got to lose a finger, I guess.
No, you lose a finger. You're not.
I guess if I lose a finger, she gets wiser.
He's not wise enough.
I learned vicariously. All right. So, any more comments? What do you expect to happen in the next season or next episode?
I do not know.
So, if you had to guess, what do you think? So they just jumped, right? They left the car, and of course we know that Kaz talked to his father, right?
Well,
so
yeah.
I think those two pieces will come together. That's what I personally think, because they don't know where they're going.
First,
and then you have
what I think is that he wants to go look for his father. He's tempted to go look for his father, but he also needs to look for the resistance since he doesn't know where they are. And he has two choices: look for his family plus his father, or look for the resistance.
Right.
And he'll probably go look for the resistance, but when he goes to look for his father, it will be too late.
No, I actually think he won't go look for the resistance, and the reason being is that I think he's one of the allies that they expected to answer, but they're in hyperspace.
Well, yeah.
When they're there, and I think what you're going to see is, remember, his father said the galaxy's at war. So remember, what's the one question that everybody's been asking? Well, why isn't the rest of the galaxy rising up? Right. Well, so here's a little bit of lesson in history. All right. So we know that what has occurred and has happened in the last about week or 2 weeks. So there's really been no chance for people to react. So how long did it take before we made our first actions in World War II after the bombing of Pearl Harbor? it took months, and that was just one country reacting, and now we have multiple planets without imagine if Pearl Harbor had been Washington D.C. and in the course of that, every leader had been bombed, and so what you have to understand is that the galaxy's in disarray, and yes, it looks like the First Order's at the top, and so they reign because no one is there to fully resist them. That doesn't mean that there isn't people rising up and trying to figure out what the heck is going on, but it takes time.
So Dale Erdman said, "I always learn from others' mistakes. Then you don't have to make any of your own." So you're saying we just watch them and not feel bad for them and just like not do anything?
No, he's just saying let other people lose their fingers.
Okay.
And then don't do that same action.
Okay. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Thank you for letting me know.
All right. So any other comments on Resistance?
I don't know, but I still want to be in the live stream.
All right. So at this point in time, I think you can sit over to the side and.
Okay, I'll read the comments.
All right. You can read the comments.
Yay!
You can keep me informed. All right.
Okay.
So, I think Resistance could turn out to be a really good this season. I think if we have very few initial episodes and a lot more of the current episode that we had, I think that Resistance will be a very good this season. I have high expectations with this one. I mean, that's my take. I enjoyed it.
I agree with you, and I think it's on a path similar to Rebels, because that first season was kind of rough for me to get through, and I didn't really connect with it well until subsequent season. Like season 2 got better. Like each season got better. So this episode, season 2, episode 2, is definitely going the right direction.
Yeah, I think we're on path, and
by far the best I think of the whole series to this point.
Yeah, I agree. The Kaz was contained and the tension was high the entire episode. It really just kept you on the edge of your seat. I think they did a very good job.
Agreed.
So all right, so the next step, rants. So let's talk Pablo Hidalgo, and so Pablo Hidalgo has blocked both haters and likers alike, and on Twitter, and there's a lot of people saying it's because he's had too much hate and he's disconnecting himself from it. I think that Santa has an interesting take on this, and I'll let him take it first.
Well, Santa also has a lot of social media contacts, and from my experience, I often have trouble keeping up with people who are close to me because my social media is full of content posted by others, and it becomes a bit of a disconnect, and it can become troublesome. And I think that there are multiple factors playing into Pablo's reasoning. I think that one big portion of it is quality of life. And quality of life would include just the same thing that I experience by having a somewhat large social media following. And certainly his is far greater than mine as an individual. Add to that the negativity he has to endure and weed through. Sure, he may like the positive ones, but he's got to weed through the negative ones. And then add to that, the closer we get to the release of The Rise of Skywalker, the more that tension's going to grow, and pressured if he tweets something wrong, or I shouldn't say wrong, he tweets something that he shouldn't, right? Releases a leak accidentally, or just does something to ire more of the fandom through a flippant post, then things could go wrong quickly. So this seems to be the best strategy, is just to block down. His comment was he's going to go from talking to stadiums to talking to a room of people. And I can understand that from a personal perspective in wanting a better quality of life with the people that I love. And and also just kind of shutting off some of the negativity.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Twitter. I mean, we're on Twitter, and I have seen how quickly things can get out of control. Like I said, I talked to you earlier. I said how quickly things can go spiral down the rabbit hole or and it can turn into a real cesspool really quick. And so all sorts of people come out of the woodworks and turn a Twitter feed into something you would have never thought it would have been. And things get taken out of context. Things get spun out to be way bigger than they ever were. Okay. And I just remember being, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not somebody who has hundreds of thousands of followers. I mean, I'm somebody who has 300 followers, and it can get crazy. And so like I can understand that. I mean, it's real easy to make a slip. I mean, think about when he was responding to the rumors of whether Rey was the daughter of Kira and Han, right? And so he says no, and he made his comment on that, and we did a video on it and what that meant, and pointing out the timeline, and so, but it still left it open for interpretation, which we interpreted it as well. So maybe that was an interpretation that was not intended, and so because it's an interpretation, you can leave an interpretation open that can be, or it could pick up on something as because you gave too much information going in, and right. Because sometimes it's not what you say, it's what you didn't say, and right. And now all of a sudden something that should have never been even hinted at as a response is out there, and like, well, he didn't say this, so this is clearly where we're headed, and so everything is revealed, and people are putting pieces together, and the way people are putting everything together this day and age, it clearly they could reveal the twist, and that may be something they want to keep away.
You're exactly right, and I think that there's evidence of that through the reshoots and some of the rumors that we've heard where they have multiple scene selections to pick from, so that like people on set may have seen a particular scene shot of one way, and then different people on set saw it shot a different way, and you don't know which way is going to be used, or some combination of both, or if there's a third or fourth, right?
Right.
And I think that a lot of the rumors and leaks that have gotten out have been more accurate than they want them to be. And so this is one of the things they're doing. The reshoots are part of trying to combat that. And
no, I think you're probably right. And I think also they're seeing some backlash to some things. Here's the problem, though. I mean, and I think Den of Nerds hit this right on the nose. And when he said, listen, I get it that some of y'all do not like the leaks. And I personally think, just from hearing what I've heard and the people I listen to, is that it's not so much that they're going, oh, I don't like that they're leaking, because they want to know just like everybody else. They do not understand. I mean, because a lot of this stuff is given without context. It's possibly misinterpreted, and they go, well, I don't like the way that sounds, and so there is a negative. I mean, I'll admit it. I'm part of that crowd. I did not like The Last Jedi, and it makes me bend to the negative when hearing things going, well, that's just dumb, and so what something that might be really cool in all actuality when it plays out and see. I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever read Obi-Wan's lines in A New Hope, and you go, and if you just read them straight, they don't sound good at all. But then when Alec Guinness gives it, you're like, oh, that sounds amazing.
Well, Lucas did write the dialogue, so
no, that's true. I mean, but Alec Guinness took it and turned it into really amazing lines. I mean, it kind of shows you what a really good actor, an Oscar-winning, Oscar award-winning actor can do with, I mean, even Alec Guinness said, well, I thought the lines were kind of hokey, and
there's the famous one with Luke and Han and Chewie. They're in the Falcon getting ready to go off, and it's the you can't just go shooting through hyperspace. that scene.
Right. It ain't like dusting crops, boy.
But that's right. And some of the words that he used in that scene, like Harrison Ford thought they were crazy, right? Like meaningless jibber jabber. But the way he delivers it's like he knows what that is.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. So Harrison Ford delivered a fantastic performance as well. So yeah, it was the actors that kind of turned the script into something that is memorable and believable. Come off as if they were actually experiencing it, not just talking some garbage lines that don't mean anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the point of having good actors, right?
Yep.
And I'll use the term that Mark Hamill said. We caught lightning in the bottle.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
And but that leads us, because we know that things can spiral out of control. And what we can end up doing. What's happened since The Last Jedi? Well, I mean, I don't think it really happened since the prequels, really, and that is a out of controlled, unbridled rage, as Mahler put it. Rants, and matter of fact, a rant brought me onto YouTube. I mean, that's what I did. I wasn't like everybody else. I mean, I don't cuss, but I mean, but I was mad about Luke, and I did this most god awful video that I can't believe I was doing it, but I mean but I was trying to make the case for why The Last Jedi destroyed Luke, and that was my rant. I mean, but it wasn't anything like what you see where people are just screaming into the mic and throwing temper tantrums on the mic and cussing up and down, and we have responses from actors and people within Star Wars, and most recently Freddie Prinze Jr., where he's cussing at fans, and because we don't understand Star Wars, and
at least not the same understanding that he has.
Right, and
I think it's unfair to say we don't understand Star Wars, right? I think he doesn't know what we understand, right? And you and I don't agree on necessarily everything. There's a good bit we disagree on, but he doesn't know what you know or others. I'm sure he has a particular person in mind, or two or three. He's got a handful of people that he has actually seen say things that he knows conflicts with what he knows, and there's where it starts.
Right. And I don't think that he necessarily knows it. I mean, so like there were things in there, and we've talked about where we thought we was right on, like no gray Jedi, and then there was things where he talks about balance, and we're like going, I think you're talking out your rear end. I don't think you understand it at all. And this has been pointed out by multiple people. I mean, Thor Skywalker and today Star Wars Only had his little video on it, but more importantly, I mean, to a rant against rant. I mean, look, we were talking about Doomcock, and this guy is, he's ranting against a rant, and at his little end piece, he says, "Now there's a rant,"
Oh, right,
right, and so like he's,
yeah.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's what he's saying. Is I one-upped you, right, Freddie? You gave a rant. I one-upped you, right? Beat that.
And
of course, Freddie isn't going to send out a response to Doomcock.
No, he doesn't care about him. I mean, why should he? I mean, I get it. He's got like 50 or 60,000 followers, but
this is sort of what we talked about earlier as well. Like, Freddie comes out and says what he does, and it's targeted at a group of the fan base. He's not picking out an individual. He's fighting with a group. And what we see in the fandom right now is that kind of thing happens all the time. Whether you're a Reylo or an anti, as they call them, and you're calling Reylos names, and they're taking personal assault, or you're pro TLJ, or you're anti TLJ, whatever it is, you say, well, you're man babies, well, you're shills, or you're whatever, right? And they're aimed at a group of people, and then based on your own thoughts, you associate with whatever that argument is. And that's what happened to Doomcock, right? Freddie said what he did. That offended Doomcock as well as who knows how many, probably tens of thousands of
Well, at least
fans.
most of his followers.
Right. I would say tens of thousands of followers, right? Like at least. And then Doomcock comes out and he makes it targeted, not at people who believe a particular thing, but just you, right?
Right.
I'm attacking you as a person. I'm not attacking people who think these things, right? To name a person and to call them out like that and to kind of go at them is a lack of civility. And we talked about this just before the call, that social media has given us a bit of a separation from when we interact, right? We're typing on a keyboard with our monitor. When I was
hiding behind a mask.
Star Wars, we talk to one another. And the civility that you have when you're talking one to another is different than when I'm typing through a keyboard. Not only for the reasons that maybe I can be misunderstood, but because I feel isolated and protected. Doomcock does that by posting videos wearing a mask and apparel that hides his physique, right? So there's no clue who he is. He's distorted his voice. So if you were to put Freddie and the person who's behind Doomcock in a room and they're talking about Star Wars and they say the things that kind of ire one another, there's still going to be a different amount of civility that happens in that personal conversation than you got in those rants.
Right. I mean, and like we said, if you had that level of ire in a personal conversation, I mean, in all likelihood, it would turn to blows very quickly. I mean, it's just that you can't not speak in a civil manner in that way in the same room. It wouldn't happen. And so people are going to default to some sort of civil discourse, even if they get angry with one another. I mean,
that's right.
So all right. So you want to read a comment? What comment do we want to read?
Can we read all of these? The recent
No, we're not going to read all of them.
So
pick one. Okay. Pick one you really like.
Darth Revan said, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that.
That's one I wanted you to read. Good job.
That was a good one. That was apropos. Do you know
that was
what apropos
great.
Means?
No.
Perfect.
So apropos means the appropriate one.
Yeah, that was perfect. Good job. Yeah, that's absolutely true. And we need more light in the darkness. And I think this channel and what we're doing here, we're trying to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately that's the goal, right? When we're trying to, I mean, we may have our disagreements, but ultimately we're Star Wars fans.
That's right.
And there's some part that we can come to agreement on.
That's right.
And also, Dale Erdman said, focus determines your reality. If you focus on only what you perceive as bad, you see all the bad.
That's
right. That only all you see is bad. If you only focus on bad, then all there is to see is bad.
That's right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you're right on the money there, Dale. I don't know.
I really love what y'all guys said. I think it was very great with those comments.
I agree with you. I think those are very, very good comments.
Very good.
And those kind of thoughts, if we can, I mean, these are the kind of thoughts that we should be thinking as fans, because the idea is to think like Yoda, right? And the idea isn't to think like Vader and be full of hate. I mean, so isn't that the lesson of Star Wars ultimately? Is that we embrace and learn to forgive? Because what we lack here is truly forgiveness.
Right.
And so when Luke said, "I can't kill him, he's my father," and then seeks to pull the light out of him, he's saying, "I will hold no animosity against you for all the things that have happened." I mean, he was pursuing him. He cut off his hand. He said he was going to turn his sister. Luke had every reason to delve into hate, but instead he dove into love. He chose love, and that means he had to choose to forgive.
So Darth Revan asked a great question. It's on topic for what we're saying right now. How can we spread love within the fandom?
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
So what do you think? How do we spread love in the fandom there, Vega?
First, we could we could learn to forgive the people who created all of those movies
that we don't like.
Yeah.
So if you created something, we forgive Ryan. Maybe we forgive Ryan Johnson for messing up Luke. You know, it.
Yeah, because he probably clearly hasn't watched all of the Star Wars thing.
Maybe he just has a different interpretation.
That's right.
Well, yeah, he probably he had like a different version and a different side of what he wanted to change, and we can't change that. So
that's right.
That's in the past, and we have to forgive that.
Right. Do you think you watch Star Wars the same way I watch Star Wars?
No.
Right. So if you have a different interpretation, should I get mad at you?
No.
Okay.
I don't think you should get mad. I think we should just accept that we all have different ways of thinking, and that we have different ways of thinking what it should be like. And he had a different way of thinking what it should be like, and he changed it.
Right.
And we didn't really like that, and we wanted to change it, so we tried changing it and editing it.
Right.
As
so
much as
that's
we
what we
can.
did. We watched Ivan Ortega's video, right? We kind of like that. I mean, you thought it made it a little bit better. I thought it made it a lot better. It made it watchable for me. But even so, I still thought it had a lot to be lacked because I didn't think he fixed all the problems with Luke. But that's my problem, not yours, right?
Also, Dale Erdman said, I do my best to share my perspective, yet still respect others as a person. We're all connected, and we're all a part of this. Yeah. I agree on that.
That's right. What was the original? I'm sorry.
I think there's two things related here. One is put Star Wars in context. As much as we love it, often we escalate its importance in our lives. And trust me, it was extremely important to me growing up. It's been a big part of my life and my identity, my entire life. Well, adult life. I was born before the first movies, but
me too.
So that's a big part of my identity. But the people that I interact with in day to day, my family and the children that I get to meet, are far more important to me than Star Wars. And to allow something like that to control my emotions and to control like if somebody, I didn't like the prequels, but I looked for the good in them, right? But to get back to the question, how can we spread love in the fandom, and this respecting others as a person is key. I think when we respect each other as a person, not just a name behind a keyboard, an identity behind the keyboard, but to know that's a person, a human being on the other side, and start from there. And then when we interact with one another, to interact in that vein, that's a good way to start. And it starts with the Michael Jackson song, right? The Man in the Mirror, right? That starts with that person.
No, that's absolutely right. I'm starting with the Man in the Mirror as a perfect example. I mean, clean your own room first. For all those who like Jordan Peterson, you know, if you're on the other side, it's look at the Man in the Mirror, right? The point of it is that I can't change you, but I can change me, and civility starts with the one person I can control. So if I'm civil, it kind of people tend to want to be civil with people who are civil.
Yep.
So you can say, I get it. You don't like it, and then let's talk about what we do like.
Yep.
And so, you know, like I can say that I could go on and on about the things I dislike about the prequels, but there are parts I really like about the prequels. And in fact, my favorite prequel is the one that most people hate. Okay, buddy. Yeah. That is speaking of that, my favorite prequel is The Phantom Menace, which has a lot of poopy jokes.
That's George Lucas's favorite Star Wars movie of all, right? He's said that multiple times. It's his favorite movie. Like, well, okay, I disagree with you, but you know, live and let live.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoy it. I mean, I love Darth Maul. I love the way it plays out. I mean, I love the music of it. To me, it's of the prequels, it's the best.
Yeah.
All right, you want to do a comment?
This is from Darth Revan. He did it upside down V, and I don't know what that means.
It means he agrees with Dale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's pointing up to what Dale said.
And by the way, feel free to comment, because I love reading your comments.
This is no surprise. We've gone long again.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah, let's quickly talk about the rumors, and so we'll knock it out in the next 10 minutes and then get out of here.
All right.
So.
And by the way, I've been waiting to burst out to read all your comments, but I can't because he won't let me.
That's because you can't just read comments the whole time.
I know. I want to, though. I want to burst out reading comments. I'm a comment volcano.
That's a good description. That was very descriptive. All right, so rumors. So a couple of things that have come in is that Star Wars speculation and a few others have talked about The Mandalorian and just the new rumors that are coming out about Filoni having one of his characters in The Mandalorian. So I have already done a video, and I still think this is true. This is one of the times that I actually agree completely wholeheartedly with my video that the character is Corky Kryze, and that's who the Mandalorian is. But there's also rumors that it's Hondo that's really the character that's going to be through there, and so that's really only a minor character. And I think that's where Santa thinks it is.
I completely think it's Hondo. They put him in Galaxy's Edge in California and Orlando. They've put him in the comic series. He's in several of the animated series, and where we have never seen him, he's in a major theme park, right? And the bulk of the audience don't know who he is. They need an introduction into who Hondo is. So my opinion is that we're likely to see him in both The Mandalorian and The Rise of Skywalker.
I think he's absolutely going to be in The Rise of Skywalker. I absolutely agree with you. I'm not opposed to him being in The Mandalorian. I just don't think that's the character that Filoni's trying to shepherd. And I think he's one of those characters that is through everything. He holds a little bit of the theme all the way through. He drives certain aspects of things. He's funny. I mean, I haven't seen a scene where he's not really. I think it was a lot funnier in Rebels than he was in the Clone Wars, but he had some humor in Clone Wars as well.
Great character, just a great character.
And
morally gray, right?
Yes, he's all. It's about money, but he has just a little bit of goodness.
Right. I love him. And I think I agree with you. I think there's no question he's going to be in Rise of Skywalker. He almost has to be. And then I think Mandalorian, just because of kind of outposts that they'll be visiting, that there's almost no way he'll not run into the scum and villainy that hang out with Hondo.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole thing is about. I mean, of course we're going to see Hondo, and to me, it's like. Well, and the idea of seeing him in The Mandalorian is almost a duh. Because who does Hondo hang out with? Well, everybody who's the scum of the galaxy.
Right.
So, of course, we're going to see him. I just don't happen to think that that's who Filoni's shepherding. And I think with the rumors of Bo-Katan being in it, and I just think Corky Kryze is the main guy, and I think that's who's going to be in it, and I think with the interaction, that's in turn going to bring Sabine in, and I think that will in turn bring Ahsoka in. So I do think we're actually going to see all these characters, though they won't play major parts. No. I think Corky Kryze will, and I think Bo-Katan will guide him until she'll end up being a fairly major part in it. But I think this is a development of what it means to be Mandalorian in canon. And
he may have more of a recurring cameo role than a true character role, right? Like character development. We may see Hondo in more of a cameo from in different episodes from time to time, but we won't really be focused on him as a character to be developed. And I think you got a good strong argument.
Right. I think what we'll see is the same development we've seen. He'll get a little bit wiser and a little bit funnier, but But and he will have an arc if we put all of them together.
Okay, we need to answer one more, so 2 things. Darth Revan asked, "Laws of canon." Yeah, that was on our agenda, and I think we'll postpone that to next week. We're running out of time. But then Dale asked a question about the rumors of Raylo. And let's see. Oh, yeah. I don't know where you want to go with this, but I'll read the question, and then you can decide if you want to address it. Because it kind of gets into the spoiler rumor territory.
Okay.
So it says, let's read. It's simply their connection to one another. When Rey shuts that connection off, she loses some of her power. She still wields the Force. And then goes on she still has many midichlorians that she is born with, but she has more problems training.
Yeah, well, from my expectation of the rumors is that what she's going to have problems. She doesn't have problems with, like, she's gifted when it comes to doing all the physical stuff, apparently. So what she's apparently going to have trouble with is the things that require concentration. So where she has to stay calm, she can't do it. She can't clear her mind.
High adrenaline moments is when you see her powers peak, and it just so happens that a lot of those happen when she's near Kylo. There was a rumor about a force bond between them, that the dyad thing, but I hear they're walking that back. So I'm not sure where they're going with that. And from a Raylo perspective, I agree with the video that Den and Nerds posted last night with, I think it's with Making Star Wars. Those
with
collaborated on a stream. That's a really good video. If you haven't watched it, go find Den of Nerds and watch the live stream from last night. They go into it really well. It's a great...
I'll link it in the description after we get done with this.
Okay. And, that's worth watching.
But yeah, so I mean, I think we have that, and I think that I just think that that we're going to start seeing. I mean, I personally think that a lot of the stuff is that the rumors were out of context, like we talked about, and it's hard to know it's true. But I do think that we're going to see, and one of the things I think one of the rumors that they changed the beginning, for example, and that one of the things I'm hearing is that they're pulling the Starforge in to this. So like that big fleet came from the Starforge, and so apparently Revan didn't destroy the Starforge.
Yeah.
Hey Santa.
Yes.
When you were saying that comment from Dale Erdman, you read my mind because I wanted to say that one so bad.
We're on the same path. That's
yes,
good.
we are.
That means you're gonna have a good Christmas because you're thinking like Santa.
Yeah.
You are. Yeah. All right. Well,
it's been an hour, and we hope that you will, as you watch this, you will please ask more questions. We'll try to pick them up and incorporate them into the next live stream, and so that we can address any questions you have, and we welcome any advice, and again, I did finish the sign up for the Toys for Tots page, so that'll go in the description, and we encourage you. Our goal is is to reach $500 for Toys for Tots. So we hope that as you see this, you will help us reach that, and it's what we call a new hope for Christmas. And so we hope that you will do. And as the original "May the Force be with you" should be or was "May the force of others be with you." And as we say goodbye, we hope that you can take the Force and help others and be a force of love in this fandom.
And also, guys, Darth Revan said, "I have my own quarter theories about this." And he also said, "I'm excited for the laws of canon." And also, please wish me that next time a magic maker will let me be more of a comet volcano next time, because I really want to be one again.
Okay.
You did a great job tonight, Vega. Good job.
I need more comments, though.
You did very good. All right. Thank you, Santa. And may the force
right.
be with you.
Wait. There's 2 more comments. I want to read them. Let me read.